First, it was Marshall D. Teach, then Rox D. Teach, and now he's Davy D. Teach, connected to a figure from the Void Century, most likely on the same level of Joy Boy, who we saw on Egghead Island have the strongest Conqueror's hockey ever shown, giving Imu PTSD, the same Imu that's bullying Elbaf currently. And with Zebek meeting Imu and saying he'll be back 56 years ago, and Teach now having his eyes on Mary Joa's the Holy Land, and Imu announcing that it's burning down, probably through Dragon, and Lafitte watching, of course. Now the Blackbeard Pirates are going to act like the revolutionaries. Expect Davy D to be responsible for the end of Imu. Yes, you guys heard me right. Imu might not be the final villain like we all thought. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 100k subscribers. And turn on notification, guys, because we're about to do a deep dive on the Davy D and how it's connected to the end of Imu. Now, if you're going to talk about Davy D, you got to talk about Blackbeard, because he is Davy D Teach. And Blackbeard, we all know, early on pre-time skip, had a very historic fight against Porcus the Ace. This fight was the trigger to everything that happened before the time skip. Yes, the Impel Down arc, the Marineford War, it was all connected to Blackbeard versus Ace. But remember, before this fight even happened, Shanks told Whitebeard it's not yet time for Blackbeard to fight Ace. And if you think about it, this is actually interesting because Blackbeard didn't win Ace, I'm talking about before they could reach Rox Roger rivalry like we see in Great God Valley. Yes, that's right. If Blackbeard and Ace didn't fight, they would have had the same rivalry as their father. Now, we always knew Blackbeard had very interesting motivations, because we know he wants the One Piece, we know he wants to become Pirate King and all that stuff. But if you think about it, he hasn't really gone too in depth of what his true goal is. We all just know recently in Egghead Island, Luffy told his crew what his true dream is. Not just become Pirate King, there's another dream that Roger also had the same dream as well. Blackbeard told Kobe he wanted to be the king of the country of Pirate Island. Yes, connected to the world government. It seems like Blackbeard's true goal is beyond being Pirate King. I think he actually wants to be king of the world, more so than his father. I remember during Egghead Island, towards the end of the arc, Saturn runs into Katarina Devon and Von Augur. And something interesting that we have to talk about is they only came there for one goal. Katarina Devon touches Saturn, and we know she has the ability to, of course, copy the appearance like she did Absalom. So I think that this shows that Blackbeard's true goal is really Imu. If you're going to use Saturn's image to get through some of the guards of the Holy Land, this could be definitely advantageous. And I also want to say, when Saturn asks Von Augur what's their goal, the Blackbeard Pirates, he says, the world. Yes, Blackbeard is trying to take over the world. As we all know, his true enemies are these Celestial Dragons, as we've seen on God Valley, and Celestial Dragons run the world. I think Blackbeard really wants to get his revenge by taking over the world. I know it sounds like JoJo's The World, but it's not, guys. Don't forget, Aokiji was an admiral that was under Monkey D. Garp. So we all know that he's had his run with the Gorosei. So when Katarina Devon transforms into Saturn, he will know where Blackbeard is truly trying to go when it comes to his goal. And you have to understand, there's a reason why Aokiji is an interesting character, not just because he saw Imu in his glasses when he was looking at Doflamingo. That was an interesting moment in the manga, but also because he probably knows about Imu as well. The fact that the huge straw that Imu stared at was frozen ice, I do think Aokiji definitely has to go in the Holy Land and see there's a very cold area vaulted over. And how to say this, he probably knows about Imu, but Imu doesn't know that Aokiji knows. That's my guess, my theory. I wonder if Garp's the one who told him. I'm not too sure how Oda's going to do this, because Aokiji, in my opinion, is one of the most important characters. The reason why he's on that final panel of chapter 1121. But if you're going to talk about Davy D. Teach, we have to talk about this low-key flashback we're getting in Elbaf right now, currently. It's one of the greatest flashbacks in the story, rivaling the Kozuki Oden flashback during Wano. And in this flashback, Rox, a Davy Jonesian supporter, now we learn is part of the Davy Jones clan, told Imu he will be back. Now, of course, we all know Rox is dead, but with Blackbeard being Davy D. Teach, it looks like Rox was talking about his son, even though he didn't know he was talking about his son. I think Oda's foreshadowing that, of course, the Davy Jones and the Imu beef is more stronger than we think. It's not the same level as Joy Boy and Luffy, but it's definitely up there, as we've seen when the Davy clan was introduced on God Valley, and how the Celestial Dragons hated them with a passion. Don't forget, the Gorosei mentioned Blackbeard's special lineage, and we seen Imu staring at Blackbeard's poster. I got Lily, of course, because Lily, Vivi, of course, because she looks exactly like Lily from the Alabasta Kingdom. I get Shirahoshi because she's an ancient weapon. You have to stare at her poster. And I get Straw Hat Luffy because he's wearing the same hat that Joy Boy wore, aka Nika. But now you have to look at Blackbeard. Yes, he's the only man to have two dove roots, which is interesting. But he's Davy D. Teach, and Saturn mentioned his lineage. So I think, that, of course, Imu knew that Blackbeard was the Davy D. Teach connected to the rocks. So put some respect on his name. There's a reason why Imu had his poster there. I also want to mention Davy D. Teach's childhood. It was a very traumatizing childhood in God Valley with all the killings and war in that traumatic tournament that were going on for 3 weeks. But also, Davy D. Teach became an orphan. Yes, Rocks brought him to God Valley so he could be protected, but he became an orphan. And he went through insane persecution. Well, I can't really say persecution in a sense, but he went through loneliness, as we've seen in that young Blackbeard picture Oda has drawn years ago, where he's just staring at the moon, looks so sad. And honestly, it kind of reminds me of Ace being the Pirate King's son and how everyone hated Ace's father. I don't think everyone hated Teach's father like Roger, but definitely think that Teach had a very lonely childhood. There's a reason why he never sleeps as well. Some say it could be because Rocks lives within him. Some say it's because he doesn't want to sleep because he's going to have nightmares of the God Valley incident. All I know is Blackbeard doesn't sleep, and Shanks said, oh, that means he gets to live twice the life. Well, maybe there's more to that. I wonder what Oda's going to do with that, but it might be connected to the Davy D clan as well. We never know. And don't forget who Blackbeard joined as a youngin. Davy D. Teach joined Edward Newgate, technically the best friend of Rocks D. Zebek, his father. Yes, for 30 years, he was on the same crew as his father. That is a big deal. Well, I can't really say the same crew as his father. I mean, same crew as his father's best friend, which is Whitebeard. The reason why I say that is because the original Rocks Pirates was Rocks, Whitebeard, Shiki, Stussy, Don Marlin, and Wang Ji. We know Wang Ji killed Don Marlin. We know Stussy only cares about loves Whitebeard. Of course, there's Gang Shui as well, but he's not really as relevant. I think Whitebeard, there is Shiki, but Shiki always talks down on Rocks, where Whitebeard is more likely to have a conversation with Rocks. I think you have to understand too. I think Whitebeard being having Teach on his crew, definitely the fact that he didn't know that Teach was Rocks' son makes it even more crazier. And don't forget, Davy D. Teach scarred Shanks, and Shanks' mom could be part of the Davy clan and could be a Buccaneer, which I doubt the Buccaneer part, but I do think that definitely could be part of the Davy clan, making Shanks and Teach connected through their lineage on Shanks' mom's side, and Teach, of course, through both his parents being part of the Davy clan. I'm not too sure if Teach's mom's confirmed Davy clan, but regardless, that would make it even insane plot twist. Half Celestial Dragon, half Davy, Shanks, and Blackbeard having, of course, the Davy D Rocks as his father. It would just be an insane plot line if I'm being completely honest. Now, let me just say this. Blackbeard is the chosen one, but Roger is not waiting for him. Roger is waiting for Luffy, aka Nika, which is why we've seen the Davy fight with Foxy and Luffy, following under Rocks' footsteps because he had those same Davy fights to get his crew. I also want to say, if Oda has the balls to have Teach kill Imu, steal his mythical Zoan legendary Delph Fruit from the first world, this could be one of the greatest final fight in One Piece history. Through Nika, Monkey D. Luffy versus Davy D. Teach with the Gur no Mi connected to Whitebeard, the Yami Yami no Mi, the Darkness Delph Fruit from God Valley, originated from God Valley maybe, who knows? And the third and final legendary mythical Delph Fruit from Imu. We all know that Luffy and Loki probably have the other legendary Delph Fruits from, of course, the first world. This could mean Blackbeard vs. Luffy is back on. Because let's be honest here, ever since Imu got revealed, people have been stopping saying Blackbeard vs. Luffy is the final fight. Even I kind of stopped saying that. I just thought, okay, Whitebeard said there's going to be a war after the One Piece is found. Probably Imu versus Luffy. That's where Oda's going with it. But now, Oda might, with this whole Davy D stuff and the connection to Teach, Oda might make Blackbeard Black Zetsu. Yes, he might make Blackbeard get the final laugh on Imu. which I wouldn't mind because Blackbeard's been built up way more than Imu. Imu was recently introduced a couple of like 200, 300 chapters ago, so I don't mind Blackbeard getting the hype rather than Imu. But regardless, I think both are very evil and both have their origins. Blackbeard, Davy D, Imu, of course, from the Void Century to the First World. Whichever choice Oda goes, we're bound to get Luffy interacting with two legendary characters, in my personal opinion. And if Oda wants to make Blackbeard have 3 Devil Fruits, that is going to be the most overpowered fight that Gear 5's ever going to face, even more than the Kaido fight.